It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tyrone Lowe. This is my show, The Legends. In the House of the Legends, I have Arye Harmony. Now, before we start the show, the clip you just seen was her actually performing inside New York City subway stations, which is really, really epic. And she's been on my show 3 years ago. So in the House of the Legends, I bring you Arye Harmony. What's going on?
Hi.
How's it going?
Going well.
It's been a while, you know.
Yes.
I just happened to get off the train one day and I heard this voice and I was like, I know that voice from somewhere. And then I just happened to just go around there and there you were. And I was like, but you probably didn't catch me afterwards, but you know, it was very, very epic. So what's been going on with you, Arye?
A lot since the last time I was here. And once again, thank you so much for having me
Of course,
again.
of course,
Oh
of
my
course,
goodness.
of course.
But in 2022, I ended up getting married.
Okay.
So March 12th is that date. And I ended up releasing a new single not too long ago. But in the meantime, between time of that time, I did enroll back in school.
Okay, good.
And
okay.
I just graduated August 2nd. And now I am officially a veterinarian assistant.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. So I enrolled in that in 2020 and I literally just graduated. So yeah.
Oh, great. That's good. So let's talk about some of the production that you've been doing, and you've been working on some new songs and stuff like that since the times that I saw you before.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I started writing the new project like around the end of 2020. Actually, you know what? No. Around the end of actually the beginning of 2020, end of 2020. So pretty much 2020 that year. And I had to think about that because I had to think about certain events that was going on.
Right.
And I started recording so around like 2021. Because it took a while. And this EP, I really wanted it to be meaningful because, as you know, we had the whole George Floyd thing going on. We had COVID going on.
Right.
It was just so much going on between 2020 and 2021. We had a bunch of, racism, events like going on. And I wanted to just get a lot of that kind of like out.
Right.
And that's what this EP is portraying. So it's a lot I have been dealing with as far as like just mentally and emotionally, looking back on my life kind of thing, and
Right.
seeing where I was then and where I wanted to go and where I am now, and how my thought process has changed, how I'm a bit more firm, a bit more strict. Like I was never a person to play games, but when you're younger, you have room for a lot
Right,
more things
exactly.
to happen
Yeah.
and go on. But when you get older, you're just like, all right, now we're gonna cut the crap here.
You know, I follow you for a long time, and you sort of like put your hands in a little bit of everything.
I do, yeah, definitely.
And I'm like, that's amazing, the type of energy that you do put into everything. And it's like you just wake up one morning and say, well, you know what? I'm just going to try this here. You know what I'm saying? And there you are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, look at her. She's actually trying to do her thing. Well, I couldn't say try. You are doing your thing because you put it out there. And when I look at some of your YouTubes, I'm like, she's not scared to go out there on a limb.
No, I've never been. I've
Right.
never had it's funny too, because when I think about it, when I first started out like really singing and having a whole show,
Right.
I had to work on my stage presence.
Okay.
And I didn't think that I was ever really a, shy person, but I guess, it will, whatever you are, it will portray
Right.
to other
Yeah.
people, no matter what you think. And that was something that I had to work on. But as far as like personality and character wise, never been afraid to just go out and try something. And I honestly can say I get that from my family, being very spontaneous. And if you want to try something, don't just try it without doing any due diligence, without doing any kind of research,
Right,
without
right.
finding out how hard this can possibly be. Just do something before you jump into it. But I am the type of person.
That's cool. So your new music, you said it took time for you. You had time out to just actually just put it together and format it. And
Yeah.
is it different from the stuff that you was actually doing before, or is it a little bit more intensive?
A
in
bit,
sense?
because the genre that is more so heard here is like jazz hop.
Okay.
So yeah, and I love jazz hop, and because I love jazz and I love hip hop and I love the way that
They
we
combine
ended
each
up
other in a
putting it
sense,
together.
together,
And I'm just like,
right.
this is so cool, and just the instrumentals, the beats along portrays. Emotion,
Right.
and that's what I love about it. So it's like lyrics added on to that, just
Right.
it booms it even more. Yes, I mean that's pretty much how that project came about. Also, I let go of modeling. I don't really model anymore.
Why?
Yeah, it was just no.
Really?
It's nothing too much in it. Like I still know how to, and I will still take pictures and things like that. I ended up being a spokesperson for Viva Eve, and Viva Eve is a women's health clinic,
Right.
and they are expanding so wide right now. And so I was literally one of the villagers, one of the face of them, and they have ads and everything going on. So I have people texting me screenshots like, "Is this you?" or
Right.
"Is this you?"
Right,
and I'm
right.
looking at my phone like, "This is really crazy how this is going."
Right.
How this is going on. So I have no issues, no quarrels at all with leaving modeling, because I definitely wanted to do something more meaningful, something that will, impact people's lives. And me personally dealing with fibroids, that was a story that I put out there on my own. I made up my own documentary of it. I
Right.
did a 2-week documentary, and then Viva Eve got a hold of that, and they was just like, "We would love to work with you."
Yeah.
And so it's been, that journey from there on.
Well, I guess with a lot of women, that was a letter of identification.
For sure.
Due to the fact that you guys, y'all deal with that in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
for you actually coming out and talking about it, I think I guess it put a lot of impact on a lot of women. It's like, well, I could definitely identify with her on that.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
this is true. And I've gotten even messages from women that I don't even know. Like, there's like, "Thank you so much for putting
Right.
out your story. Thank you for putting out your journey of how everything was going
Right.
from the time you went into surgery to the time you finished and recovered." It was like, because I had the worst of it. And that's just one thing I will always think of myself. Everybody will always tell you, "Oh, this shouldn't be that bad." But you do have those rare cases where,
Right.
and I will automatically say, I'm one of those rare cases.
Okay.
So,
Well, actually, you was just actually being a voice, in a sense,
Yeah.
for what a lot of women actually wanted to say, but they probably just didn't know how to say it
yeah. And I have zero fear of that.
and stuff. So, letting go your modeling, do you think you'll come back with it? I think you will.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of things I got rid of in my life, but I find myself drawn back to it for some reason.
this is true.
You know.
Listen, if the check clears, I'm there.
I hear you.
That's one thing about it. And I was telling someone earlier, I was
Right.
just like, modeling is one of those. I'm not going to per se say it's a young people's game, but it is a young people's game if you are working your way through it.
Right.
Because that's one of those industries where for sure, it is the people you know. And if you don't know anybody, if you're going in with no networks, no contacts or anything like that, trust me, you have Mount Everest to climb.
Okay.
And that was just it for me. And I was just like, even though I built contacts and built relationships and stuff like that, it was nothing in it for me. So it was nothing that I could build off of or benefit from.
Right.
It was all, oh, we just need you for experience. Oh, it's just for experience. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm eat experience in the morning for breakfast. I'm gonna eat experience for dinner.
Right,
Because I couldn't do it anymore.
Well, back to the music.
Yeah.
We probably asked you this question on your last show, but I'm going to ask it again. How old were you when you started singing?
Seriously started singing when I was about 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
Because before that, I was rapping. And everybody in the community, everybody in church, everybody knew I was a rapper.
Okay,
and they was just like, okay, she got some bars.
Let's
so,
give her a beat and let her do her
yeah,
thing.
and that was one of those times where, and I consider myself as an old school head, I really do.
Right.
But I was really in those last of days where we were in school and it was a group of us crowded around before school started.
Right.
And we're all huddled up and we're,
must have
it's
been
one
fun.
of those. Yeah, and that would be one of those that goes and everybody knew, let's go and get LL because that was the name at the time.
Right. Wow. And so now that you look back at certain things and where you're at right now, is there really, really a difference in your life right now?
Oh, gosh,
I mean,
yes.
is it like a modern upgrade compared to what Arye was used to back a couple of years ago?
Yes, and I'm going to say one of those phrases that my mother always told me.
What was that?
You always see everything through rose-colored glasses.
Okay.
You always see people through rose-colored glasses. So even though I can say I am still that, that happy person, spontaneous, just up and go kind of thing.
Energy.
I don't really, I don't
right.
really I'm not that type of person where everything is strategically planned throughout life.
Right.
And it's no diss to people like that because listen, you do great. They are probably if anything, they are more successful than ones who just go without a plan. But I've just never been one of those types. So that is still me, but I am more careful than I've ever been.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was younger, as far as I've never played games with people, but it's one of those, if you're just not really coming correct, I don't want anything to do with it.
Right,
because
right.
I have faith that something else definitely better is going to come along.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if you think you're going to, I had a really crazy experience one time actually talking about this. Before I moved here, there was a producer. It was a producer, somebody in the music industry, and Rita Ora. Do you know this artist?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, Rita Ora was getting her start at the time. And so I had a meeting with him, and he clicked on the TV. He said, now this here's your competition. And I said, okay, no problem. You know me, I'm competitive.
Right.
This is no issue here.
Right.
And then he started getting off into me dressing. I need to show some more skin. I need to let this hang off. I need to lift this up.
Right.
I need to let this, kind of be
He
revealing.
was trying to actually paint a picture of you.
Right. And that's just one of those things. And I was just like, yeah, no, this is not for me.
Okay. So what we're going to do right now, Arye, is we're going to listen to a track of you, and you guys go out and support her, listen to her, get in contact with her through social media, and we'll be right back.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house. It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
My assignment, my calling is to inspire, uplift.
You have to make sure your people are partying.
All I want to do is just bring joy to the dance floor and watch people dance.
Tino.
Where do I go from here?
What do I say now? How can I think clear? I'm stuck how I come out of this funk. I'm just too tired, feeling like junk. Why can't I get higher, higher? Nobody sees me, just back up, I'm through. Calling out, falling down, nothing is new. I'm trying, but I can't get through. These years are passing and I barely flew. Can I be born again so I can take back my sins? Whatever was done, I did. How can I fix it? Ooh. Wanna stop missing you, though you were never here. Fed up of being broke, I'm fed up of these tears. I'm watching you rise up, proud of you outside, but on the inside, I'm hurting and I cry. When is it my time? I'm not getting younger, making the moves, but I'm not going further. Checked all the boxes without sleep or slumber, forced to be everything, I'm only human. Can I be born again so I can take back my sins? Whatever was done, I did. How can I fix it? How can I fix it?
And we're back. My name is Tyrone Lowe, and this is my show, The Legends. And my guest is Arye Harmony. Hey.
Hey.
Let's talk about that song, because that's a very, very deep song.
Yeah.
To be saying, can I be born again
Yeah.
so I can
Take back my
take
sins.
back my sins?
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever was done, I did. So how can I fix it? And that is, that's just over time, you look back
Right.
pretty much at your life and the mistakes that you've made. And, at one point I was like, I will never have any regrets of anything that I do in my
Right.
life. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'll go in with my eyes open, fully aware. And years later, you're just like, dang, I really wish I wouldn't have done some of those things.
Well, we do things, we're creatures of habit in the sense of curiosity. So if anything's attractive to us where we feel that we really want to go out there and try it, we're going to try it.
This is
But we
true.
might hate it at the end because we
This
might
is
say,
true.
well, I shouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the fact is that you did it. You know what I mean? So, what can you do?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like,
You know?
what can you do? It's just like, it's something that replays over in my head. It's like, I really wish if as a lot of people say, if I had that rewind button, or if I had that time machine, if I can go back in time. And it's like, yeah, we could all say, well, you probably wouldn't have grew, as much as you did, or you probably wouldn't have been as strong as you are now. But it's like, yeah, no, I definitely would take some
Right.
of that back.
Sometimes we think about some of the things we do, and we might regret it. But then again, after you grow for a while, you're just like, wow, I've experienced it.
Yeah, and I have too.
So what's the big deal? Really. And I might get on my knees and ask the Lord, I want to take some of these sins back, but
And I'm not trying to like bust anyone's bubble here, because I am in the same boat. But it's like it has to come to a point where we shouldn't just be like asking forgiveness just because we know he's going to forgive us.
True.
God, I know you have a fair heart. So, I'm going to do this anyway.
Right.
But I'm going to ask for forgiveness after. It's like, it
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that. It should be one of those things where we
let's take advantage of it.
Yeah,
If he's going to forgive you, he's going to forgive you. You don't have to go repeatedly and say, well, listen, take advantage of the situation.
Right.
Because that's not really forgiving. That's really putting yourself deeply into more sin.
That is very true. Very true.
You
And so
understand?
that's just one of those things. And I get the whole, temptation aspect of, human nature and
Right.
things like that. But it's like at the same time, We know when something is wrong, and the difference, but the things that separates that is consequences. If we did not know, if we knew that there was going to be some serious consequences behind something that we do, I promise you, the statistics will be down a lot.
Yeah.
But
you're
because
right.
we know that
Yeah.
the consequences is,
Well,
isn't fair.
to me, it all depends on mindset, mind frame. Sometimes we know things ain't right, so we just gonna go and do it anyway. It's like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, but
But
right.
as you grow older, you get that flashback, that
the
rerun.
facts is the facts.
And
yeah.
so, you know what? I want to clear my life up right now. I'm just tired of things I used to do, and I just want to just go ahead and just do something new.
Yeah.
Give me self-satisfaction, just clear the air with myself.
Yeah.
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 But back to the music.
Yeah, I mean, but that was a part of the song,
Yeah,
though.
that's cool. That's
and then,
cool.
you
And
know,
it's
as
cool.
far as
That's cool.
it even says, I'm tired of being broke, and it's just I have done so much in my life but I feel like that I have not really went where I wanted to go, and I know a lot of people, feels like that. A lot of people just like I would have been further. In my life right now, if it wasn't for such and such and such. And, who knows? You maybe have, that divine nature or God just knowing if you would have went with just smooth sailing to where you wanted to go, you would have
Right.
been a messed up person.
I think
so.
so.
I'm watching out
You're right
for
about
you.
that.
Right. So it's like I do have those back and forth, thoughts and ideas. And that was just one of the things that I kind of just struggled with. I'm just like, I wish I could have, done this differently or been in this circle or not have done
Right.
this event, and it would have benefited me, later on. And it's just like I said, you've just done so much, and I understand that music business is one of those.
Right, yeah.
It's so overly saturated. It's so much talent that is out here. It's so many highly talented people who are just so overlooked. And I'm not saying that I'm the best in the world or
Right.
anything, but it's a lot of very talented people who are just not recognized. One, social media has skyrocketed through the universe, so many people are in control of whatever is put out in the world now, whatever is put out in the country. So it's just one of those things where it's like I'm not at a certain place financially where I want to be or where I feel like my work should have put me at. And it's just, that's the part of the song as well. And it's a song of struggle. It's a song of looking back.
It's a very beautiful song, man.
Thank
And
you.
I'm listening to the message behind it. Deep.
Thank you.
It had me thinking, about a few things years ago. But I was struggling for a long time with an issue, and recently it has really turned around
Wow, that's great.
for me, and I'm like, wow,
Turn
I
around in a
thank
good
certain
way.
people for actually being there for me while I was going through
Yeah,
controversies,
for sure.
and I'm the type of person that now I'm in a position I could definitely give back
And
and
that
feel
is
so good
amazing.
about it.
Yeah,
And the more that I think on positive thoughts, God is blessing me even more.
yeah.
You don't judge. You don't look at a person in a way because they down and out. Remember when you were down and out?
Right. Exactly.
Remember when you were so humble and you just needed the words of wisdom to actually, like somebody plugged you into the wall type of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What made you actually get into the subway?
Oh, I first moved here in 2013, and it's funny because I seen a picture with my moving here 2014. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have to fact check myself.
I hear you.
But no, 2013. And when I moved here, I was with my cousin. We was going through the subway, and next thing you know, I see this guy singing, and he has this little, and I mean like this little speaker box. It was nothing fancy. Had a mic with a cord, and that was it. That was all he had, and he had his tip bag. And I seen some, a few people like put, like some coins in there and everything, and he was all right. I was like, he's not, like the best, but but he's pretty cool. Like he could hold his tone. And I'm just looking at this whole scenery. I'm just like, this is so cool. And I just started asking questions from then on. It's one of those just jump into.
Right.
Like I'm asking like, do you need a permit for this? You know, do you need a license for this? Like, how do you do this? Do you get in trouble? Like, where are the spots to go? And
Right.
so I moved, in my first 2 years that I was here, I was determined to work. And I was determined not to make any friends. And that's exactly what I did. I only worked. I didn't make any friends. I didn't try to become buddy-buddy. I wasn't trying to be a girlfriend or boyfriend, boyfriend. I wasn't trying to do any of that. I was just trying to get my feet set on the ground being here. And so when going around those stations and seeing that one person at the time, because it wasn't a lot of people at the time when I was here. So it's like, one or two. I was like, this is really cool. I want to do this. But I wasn't fully like ready to jump in.
Right,
Because I wanted to, just kind of feel my way. But a couple of years later, I was working at a dog daycare. And at that time, I was busking, but I was just trying it out. But I was making more money busking than I was at the dog daycare.
Oh, okay.
And so me and my manager, we kind of got into a little tiff.
Right.
And that was it for me. I was like, you know what?
That's it.
I don't need to stay here for this. So, and that's when I fully got into it.
The people that's coming new into the industry, whether it's acting, producing, that recreation of entertainment, is there anything that you can actually tell them, through your experiences?
Oh my gosh. Do your due diligence. That is the main thing that I can advise you. And that doesn't mean, one-way focus. That means look up people who you can actually talk to. Look up venues that you can actually get in that's not super big, that you'll pay a ton of money just to get into it because it's a big venue.
Right.
Just make sure you have a venue where people are coming and that people will start feeling you so you can know your audience. This is whether it's in singing, acting, whatever the entertainment business is, because you need an audience and you need to know them. Okay. And so that's just pretty much how to start out. Just make sure you fully research your way into the area.
No. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on my show again.
Thank you for having me.
Arye is going to do the same song, but she's going to do it live. I think I get more feeling of it doing it live, So this has been another T-Lo video production, and you guys come back again. Stay tuned for another episode and enjoy. Thank you.